Ed, a pig, and a rat walk into a shower. Coming up on the Fraudcast.
In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud. In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud.
The following goes beyond the show and beyond the gram to bring you all the fraud that's fit to be uncovered. This is the Fraudcast, and now, here are your fraudcasters, Hanakawa and Katrina. That's the music.
Oh, is it? Is that the music? Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yeah?
Just Andy. Fabulous.
Just Andy?
Mm-hmm.
I have a hetero life mate here with me today.
Hey, what's happening, ladies? How was everybody?
Good.
Good. Hanakawa, how was your day today?
Long.
You sound so enthusiastic.
It's so long. Like, my days are filled with meetings. So on the phone, I'm just sitting there listening to the phone while my kid
I used to have a
replays.
job that had that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the worst. Every Monday morning, we had a meeting that was an hour and a half long. And it was a teleconference with us in New York. And we were in D.C., and so we would have like the conference call speaker on mute so that we could make our own snide comments without New York hearing it. That was kind of fun, but sitting in that room for an hour and a half every single week was not fun.
Yeah, I have like an hour meeting every day just to talk about what I did the day before. So yeah, fun.
That's the worst.
Meetings, lots of meetings. I thankfully don't have that many. I mean, I have some, but not nearly as many as you do.
Yeah, my day revolves around it. And I think that's also how they like keep track of who's working, because if you're not making it to like all 8 meetings during the day, what are you doing? Like what are you doing with your life? I'm like
your actual job.
Trying to homeschool my kid, maybe do a few spreadsheets, databases, shit like that.
Your actual job that you could do you could do your actual job if you weren't in meetings talking about your actual work.
Right. Exactly.
Do you normally have this many meetings, or is this just now that everyone's working from home, let's make sure everybody's accounted for?
Well, usually I have more in person, so right now it's actually a lot less because people are telecommuting, but
got it.
Yeah, I've dropped about 3 meetings a day since.
Jesus.
I know.
That sounds insane.
How do you have time to do your job when you're meeting about it all the time?
Well, the great thing to remember is I'm a project manager, so a lot of my meetings are status updates and then meetings about, moving forward in projects. So the good thing is that my work is the meeting. And then there's some planning on the side and documentation, but yeah.
Good times. I do not miss those days.
Yeah, no.
Where I am now, we have like maybe 1 meeting every 6 months, and it's fantastic.
We have a staff meeting every month, and like a team meeting this new supervisor I'm under, she does like a team check-in like every week. I don't know if that's normal or just because of quarantine. She wants to touch base with all of us, but otherwise she would be able to touch base with us all at some point in the office. I don't know. It's fine though. It's fine.
You gotta prove productivity, and the only way they can do it is making you get on and talk about your productivity.
Thankfully, mine is not like that. Like your productivity speaks for itself on the cases that you close and
that
process.
Would make sense if you had a tangible product. For a project manager, I could pretty much sit and pick my nose for 2 days in a row and then slam a whole bunch of work down in one day, and you wouldn't know the difference. So, it's very hard to tell if I'm doing work because I don't have work products. The project is getting fucking done. That's your work product.
Just trust you that it's getting done.
Pretty much.
Oh, you know who is not getting the project done? Just about every single one of our couples. That was a really terrible transition.
It was okay.
It was okay.
You could work on it. It could be better.
Sorry. My meds are like fucking with my head. I'm not nearly as sharp as I need to be. You need to carry us.
Oh, I can't carry you. Don't look at me. I just came in because you were watching this in bed last night and I couldn't sleep, so I inevitably wound up watching it with you and kind of hate watching it. And I have some thoughts, but
hate watching. Watching. So who are we going to hate talk about first? Because
there's so many choices.
We start our scene setter with Ed, so we can start off with him if we like.
Why don't we start out with that motherfucker?
The cartoon character known as Ed.
Oh my gosh. And he literally does like identify kind of as a cartoon character. If you look at his Instagram, it looks like he did a lot of cosplay. Maybe he still does. He did a lot of touring with like gaming style themes. I'm not sure if they were conventions.
Yeah, and I mean he had cartoon stickers of his head made.
I know, which don't look anything like him.
Yeah, they really don't. And he sends them to people.
I have 5 of them, and I've been debating on what I should stick them on or who I should send them to.
I want one. Can you send one to me?
Hetero Life Mate wants one.
That's so funny.
I mean, the guy is just like, he's like dollar store Chris Farley, first of all. The way he's like... the van down by the river skit. Like, that's his perma face. Like, that's how he looks. That's his default face. And the guy couldn't sleep. It's cold. It's rainy.
No,
it's hot. I'm sorry. It's hot. The fan stopped working. The power went out.
He didn't have his special sheets.
Oh my gosh.
1,000 thread count sheets.
Okay, first we need to talk about the special sheets because, so he has what's called atopic dermatitis, which is basically... I heard it described as the common cold of skin conditions. Like
I have it too. I have it too, and it's absolutely terrible. Skin, right? But I've never ran into like needing to have Egyptian cotton 3,000 count bed sheets.
Right.
It's more like
if you're a sheet snob and you just want really good sheets, just say that.
I think
don't
he's
be
a
dick about it.
What he should have been more concerned about is having a bed. Because what were you going to wrap those damn sheets around?
I know, right? and also this guy, like, what, does he sleep in his the clothes that he was wearing? Like, if his skin is so damn sensitive, like, wouldn't his clothes have to be made out of the same material his 1,000 count sheets?
Maybe they're all like, organic bamboo. Gets softer as you wash it.
But he was like hot and sweaty and gross, and he was in those clothes for like at least like 12 hours, if not more, because he slept in them and he was getting rained on in them and he was sweaty in them. Like, that can't be good for his super special skin.
And it probably wasn't. Like, I don't doubt he actually has a problem, but I feel like it was maybe exaggerated for the sake of the storyline of the sheets not being there and his horrible night. Because I'll tell you this. Hotels do not carry high thread count sheets unless it's like specific hotels that advertise that.
Right. Yeah. They're not spending that kind of money on high-end sheets.
You know what people do in hotel beds. They're not going to spend money on that. I've worked at many hotels.
Right? I don't know what you're talking about.
What do they do in hotels?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure our audience can come up with many things in their imagination.
Yeah, so that whole I need special sheets, but I don't really need anything other special. Like, that is just ridiculous. So that in and of itself just is enough to make me rage punch him in the face. And then we see this episode, him bitching and whining about every aspect of Rosemary's life and being just a complete self-entitled white privilege. Like, is that what's the word I'm looking for here?
I think that he just didn't have the understanding of what Rose's country or living conditions were like. I think he went there thinking that everything was like, oh, she's just poor, but our standard of poor here, we're not doing well off, but we still have beds and homes, right? He went there she's literally like a couple, metal plates away from having an open roof.
Yeah.
And I don't think he understood, like, in that situation, like, the fact that Rose has a phone, the fact that she has what she has, like, she's not the poorest of what you would see in the Philippines.
Right.
Like, that's perspective for him. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, for him to say that he has never spent a single night of his life at 54 years old or whatever, and never once had a night without air conditioning, like, that tells you something about that guy.
right?
Yeah, it tells
Especially
you he's lying,
since,
first of all. There's no way.
and I would have assumed he would have slept in the doghouse after cheating on his wife.
He cheated on his wife?
His first
That's
wife.
his backstory?
Yeah.
Yep.
He had a wife?
Yeah, and a kid. He's got a kid who's the same age as Rosemary.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I always like when you have to, like, fill them in and they're like, what?
What?
He had a wife? He procreated with someone?
And he's the one that cheated on her.
Oh, my God. With who? Someone was willing. Oh, my. This just gets better and better. Somebody was, like, his mistress?
We don't.
So gross.
We don't know the details.
Oh, God.
Oh,
We don't know details. Yeah.
Ed, the cartoon character that he is. And then the thing with him, you know, he like wakes up in the morning. Good morning. I didn't sleep. He's got the pillow like pathetically placed on the wall, and he's like leaning against the side of the wall.
He was trying his best to levitate all night.
I know.
Don't be mad, but I don't want to stay here. Your life is gross.
And that's pretty much how it came off. Like, okay, I'm going to try and talk to your dad because I need to get the fuck out of here. Like,
Because I can't handle your life.
Right? And she's like, whatever. The dad that, like, stays in the house overnight to make sure that Rosemary is respected. Like, where were you 2 nights ago? Because she was totally disrespected 2 nights ago. Maybe that's why he was there.
Do you think Rose told her dad that Ed made her shave her legs? Because she was gross.
I doubt that. Think about the things that we don't tell our own dads if mine was around.
No.
But there would be no way. Like, if she told her dad about the STD test or he told me to shave my legs because it was gross, like, can you imagine the beat down that his dad would give him? Like, that whole shower scene was brutal enough.
The dad would slaughter him like one of his pigs.
Or feed him to the pigs, because nothing would be
Or
left.
just lock him in the pig pen with his stupid plastic bags on his feet and let him slip and slide all over the place.
We've all done it, though. I tried that same thing when I took the garbage out during monsoon season. It doesn't fucking work. Like, the bags actually keep you
Make
down.
it harder and worse. Yeah.
When I was a kid, whenever, when it would snow like once every 2 or 3 years where we lived in North Carolina, that's what my mom did. She'd put bread bags on my feet and string them together with with rubber bands, and that was her solution to me not having snow boots.
That was your snow
But
boots.
they weren't
I'm
like
not buying you
plastic
another pair
grocery
of
store
shoes.
bags, and I wasn't trying to walk around in mud. And oh my god, this freaking guy.
Yeah. So first we have to talk about the shower, and then we have to talk about the pig farm.
Okay.
So the shower scene. Where do we start with it?
One, could you imagine?
Do we think that they're trolling him? That Dad was just trolling him?
That I don't know. Like, that's a good question for anyone who is from or knows about the Philippine culture. If it's custom for families to bathe together.
To have a wash.
To have a wash.
Because they're really just washing up. Like, I can see that totally being an innocent family activity.
So, yeah, is it custom to just wash up like that? Because it wasn't like a full shower. They didn't like really clean like their legs or their naughty parts or anything. It was just like Dad washed his hair and they splashed some soap on like their upper bodies. So is that like a full wash? That's just a rinse up? Like,
I have a feeling it was
custom?
just like a rinse. I feel like it was done the way it was just because the cameras were there. Like, I want to know what that all entails without the cameras there. That's not his house. I believe just the sister and Rosemary lived there.
yeah. Dad lives in the pig farm.
Right. So, like, is this something that happens often, or that they just want to initiate Ed with cold water on camera?
That was going to be my question. Is the water cold or is it hot? Because he doesn't say either way, But whatever it is, the way he's reacting when they're pouring it on him, it could go either way. It could be like ice cold or like really, really hot.
Well, they had two sources of water. So they have the bucket. I mean, like the 80-gallon drum or whatever.
Right.
And then they also would spray. So they would use the stuff to like scoop it and pour it on him. I mean, maybe that could be different temperature than the hose.
His face when they're doing it, though.
I think it was cold because, like, just an observation of, like, how skin reacts with hot water. Like, he would have turned red or something. Like, showed some kind of pigment or something. I don't know. That was the face of, like, shit, this is cold.
Yeah, he was kind of clenching up the way you do when you get hit with really cold water.
So there's all that. Then he drops the soap.
Yes.
And then we see the rat. Is it a rat or a mouse?
It is a rat. Mouse is for, like, smaller things. And rat, that was, like, rodent. Straight out of New York. Like, almost a rat.
And he's like, is it a rat? Is it a mouse? And she's like, I think yes.
She's like, what of it? That's Herbert. Don't touch him.
And he's all like, there's chickens and there's all these things. And she's like, yeah.
He was so freaking observant. Oh, are those chickens? She's like, what the fuck did they look like to you? Well, he usually has glasses, right? So, I mean, maybe...
Oh my God. Just when you think Ed can't get any more cringeworthy, he does. And they go after the shower, they go to the pig farm where Dad lives under the pallets.
Yes.
And so there is a god and her name is Karma. And Ed got to slip and slide around in the pig mud. Which was just such a joy, such a treasure to watch him slip and slide in the mud.
They were holding on to him like this is our 85-year-old grandpa who has trouble walking. Like that's how they were treating the guy, like holding his hand as he walked up and walking him over to the pen and all that stuff because he kept slipping and sliding all over the damn place.
Even the pigs
90-year-old
looked up,
grandfather,
right? Even the pigs looked up like, the hell, man, like.
He couldn't feed the pigs to save his life, man.
Oh my God.
Kept dropping the trough or whatever that was in the pen with the pigs, which I'm pretty sure isn't the way you're supposed to do it.
It was like a Three Stooge skit, the way it was just like...
It totally was. We needed music. We needed that and the shower scene set to music. Maybe...
It's going to happen
like
now.
The Benny Hill music or something. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Just like somebody out there put together a compilation of pole running and they'd set it to like the Benny Hill theme. Like somebody needs to do that with the shower scene and the pig scene.
Oh, it's totally happening. I have so many friends that like they have memes that they'll send to me. I'm like, I can't post that, but it's funny. I'll have to tap into them.
Because that was just a joy to watch. I did record the shower scene, and that is up on my Instagram. So if you feel the need to rewatch it, there it is for you.
If you feel the need, if you so desire.
So what do we think about Ed and Rosemary now in this point in their relationship?
There is no relationship.
There isn't.
The relationship is a business one, and it's Rosemary wants to live in America. There you go. End of story.
And he wants a hot young thing?
She's going to leave the minute she's legally able to.
Well, maybe. She might have really liked foot massages. I mean, I wouldn't mind coming over and getting foot massages and, I don't know. Like, marriage is hard. I would stay with someone who makes it fucking easy.
I feel like Ed is too high maintenance for any marriage to be easy. Any marriage to him to be easy, you know what I mean? Like he is just that. I can't with him. Yeah.
But I feel like I get annoyed with his constant like, I need to know if her love is true. I need to know. Like a few days ago he was putting the condition on if she gets an STD test, I'm not going to trust her. And now it's like, I need to know if her love is true before I put a ring on her finger. Like,
yeah, this conditional bullshit.
Right. Like he doesn't have anything to prove also. Because I mean, I can imagine she's wondering if he really loves her or,
Yeah, I mean, she just wants a ticket out, and he's like, "Oh, well, if she's just using me to come to America, well, that's a problem." Well, dude, yes, she's using you to come to America, but she'll also sleep with you.
Well,
so
that's part
count
of the
your
deal,
fucking blessings,
right?
Yeah, that's the transactional nature of these things, right?
And it's gross. It's just gross.
Yeah, but it happens all the time.
Oh, I'm sure it does. It's just, yeah.
You get me to America, I give you boom boom, as Annie says.
Yes.
How long do they have to stay together before they're able to say, "See ya, okay, I got my visa now"? I'm
2
good."
years.
2 years. Mm-hmm. So you have to put up with that for 2 years.
After 2 years, after they get married, you could apply for your conditional green card. That's good for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
After that, you can apply for the conditions to be removed, and the conditions are being married to your sponsor. So
Got
after
it.
that, you're free and clear.
Got it. Affirmative.
Right. You know who's always right? Lisa.
Oh my God. She's a doctor.
She's a doctor, and she's a Nigerian goat expert.
Yeah. What the fuck? This whole episode with that. The goats were funny.
So it opens with them in the goat farm, right? So they're picking out a goat to take to his mother as like a gift offering to, warm her up, and hopefully she'll approve of the marriage. The whole, so I guess the conversion of the goat that she was going to get is the conversion converts to what? $115 American money. And she's like, "That's the white price. Is that really it?" So I put this up on my Instagram last night. And for those in the know, apparently in Nigeria, that is the white price. That she shouldn't have paid more than like 80 for that goat. And my thought, and somebody put it out there too, and I don't have any evidence of this, there's no proof of this, but my thought is that this guy selling the goat is, in on something with Usman, and so Usman will get a kickback. Like Usman promised. No, because he's promising the Lisa that it's not the white price. But if it was, like, he's going to tell her, no, he's going to help his buddy get money, right? Off of his rich white American fiance, who's not at all rich.
Yeah. That whole, I'm sorry. She let herself get haggled if she feels like she's paid the wrong price. We all saw Angela work that fucking microwave shop.
Yeah.
And
she did have to pay the white price.
The
bottom line is she's white. That she's going to pay the white price.
They're probably scared because she's like, if you want the extra money, as she digs deep into her cleavage, she's like, you're going to get it from down here. Wait, I don't know. It's something that you feel like should have been researched before, or if they were worried, maybe just send Usman with $50 and say, make this work. I don't know. I would have thought about that ahead of time.
Right, but she didn't, because she's not very smart for a doctor. And Usman totally trying to placate her and tell her that I wouldn't let you be swindled. Of course this isn't the right, there's no white price you're paying, I firmly believe that he was in on the overpriced goat business.
he gets an extra few dollars from it.
Maybe gets extra few dollars, or just that the guy's a friend of his or related to him or something like that, and that's just, he cares about his friend more than he cares about Lisa.
Or maybe the deal was I'll let you film here and we'll kick in an extra $30 for the goat. Oh.
Well, who knows? So they get the goat, and then they go home or back to the 5-star chalet for Lisa to change her clothes into that blue traditional dress.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is the part that I saw. And then the hair wrap.
The hair wrap, yes.
Yeah, I checked out there for a sec, guys. Sorry, I didn't see the beginning of that part. But
you don't need to announce that to everybody.
Why not? I'm being real. Keeping it real. And then the hair wrap, which she actually looked pretty nice in, I have to say.
Yes, she looked good. And then they go to Usman's mom's house.
That didn't go well.
Yeah. Tell us about that. What happened there?
That's where I checked out, but I know that mom said no.
Yeah. So
but does she get to keep the goat?
I'm not sure. I guess they'll let us know. So yeah, they all sit down, and it's all of his family, and they have this conversation about, well, do you know why she's here? Because they hadn't told mom that she's gonna get married. They're gonna get married and all this stuff. So the mom or sister's commentary is funny because they're like, we didn't expect her to. She looks old. Like we didn't expect this, and it's like, yeah, you're not getting any grandkids. And then they ask what Lisa does, and Lisa says, I'm a hospice caregiver, which is she's like a nurse assistant or something, kind of like Angela. They help. They both have the same job, which is an assistant, like aide type person at a hospice place. And so Lisa says this, and then Usman, translating it, said she's a doctor in the United States, you guys. Oh my God. Like, okay, you try to sell mom and dad. I don't think, and then mom still says no. Mom still says no to blessing their marriage. I mean, we know that Lisa and Usman go on to get married, so whether they do it with or without her blessing at this point is what I guess we're waiting to see.
Right. Right. We know how the story goes, though.
Yeah.
It'll just take 2 goats. That's what the problem was. She wanted 2.
We saw that with didn't we see that with Annie and David when he brought like the gold and the money, and then he had to get the multiple water buffalo and he couldn't afford to get a lot of water buffalo, so he got like one that was going to get pregnant over and over, pop out baby water buffalo.
Well, that's how you should think. You're like, don't think about the now, guys. Think about the potential. That's how he sold it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, their scene was entertaining. Lisa didn't do a lot of talking, which I thought was great, after the goat farm anyway. But there was so much content from the goat farm and everything that was so memeable that, I mean, those memes just write themselves.
Memes.
Who's next?
Should we suffer through Darcy and Tom's segment?
Yeah, so we get Tom standing on the edge of the Jersey Shore staring at Manhattan, calling his sister. I have no idea what he's contemplating.
If he wanted just the cool city in the background thing, he should have used Zoom. He could just do the background. He didn't have to get on a ferry and go across the Hudson to New Jersey to stand there and get a nice picturesque background for his FaceTime call with his sister.
Right?
He's English, right? Like, if it wasn't dramatic, it wouldn't be him.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, there's not a lot to say about them. You get Darcy in her hotel room crying, which they could have just reused stock photo.
That was B-roll from previous seasons, I think.
Except that we'd be able, it could be anything. And so yeah, so she's crying. I'm going to be alone. This is the same thing we've seen over and over and over. And other than the fact that Tom said that one comment about her weight that, is admittedly a terrible comment, Tom has every right to be breaking up with her. Like, it's just she's not ready for a relationship.
Right. And we might have to address it separately, but there's a gigantic question about the timeline between Darcy's boyfriend shenanigans and Tom's girl that he saw. Like, a lot of people are just wondering, like, we have all this dramatics of Darcy saying she was, cheated on and fooled, but she was kind of...
Yeah, that was happening all around the same time as well with the guy who doesn't know Darcy. That was all going on as well. And I do have to put together the timeline a little bit better, but it wasn't... that guy and Darcy were talking for quite a bit of time, and it definitely overlapped with her time with Tom and her time with Jesse, because those all three overlapped together at some point.
Right.
And the videos that we have of Darcy where she's using this guy's name, his name's Michael, the videos and stuff that he sent to Darcy, to Tom's sister, who shared him with Tom. And that all happened last fall. So that was all September, October, which is all the same time that Tom was seeing that other blonde girl at the Versace show. So this all happened at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. So, Darcy being all, I'm going to be alone. He cheated on me and stuff. Well, she is getting drunk and FaceTiming with and sending naked videos of herself to this guy at the same time that all this is happening. So that's not, I mean, her hands aren't clean in this whole situation. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that probably aren't clean, but I'm not going to get into that.
Right. Totally for a different time, but I think if that timeline was able to be clarified somewhat, it would help a lot of people who are just confused as fuck about everything.
Okay, because those were happening all overlapping with each other. So, because he was made aware of this relationship in September, and we posted the pictures of him and that blonde girl, I think, at the end of September, beginning of October. So, yeah. So she was engaging in this ongoing extracurricular relationship with Michael the same time that she supposedly confused about her status of her relationship with Tom. So
right, and so you can see in Tom's postings, like he posts a lot of stuff in his stories, like whether or not he's just trying to get a side out or his side out. He pretty much makes it seem like the show was edited to make it look like he was just a sleazeball and asshole.
Right, and then that may be the case, but not because of the reasons that they're making it occur that way or making it appear that way.
Well, and they need continuance from Darcy, not Tom. Like they could probably care less what Tom goes on to do, but Darcy is alumni, so if we're gonna give her another love, we have to. Keep her in everyone's hearts as the person who was done wrong, and
right. but
is there anyone who thinks that way still, though? I mean, you guys are fanatics about this show. Is there anyone out there who still is like on Team Darcy when it comes to this stuff?
Yes.
Because all I hear are you guys shitting on her, people on Friday Night Live shitting on her, people in the Discord chat for those who are Patreon members. By the way, you can sign up for the Patreon for the Fraudcast, shitting on her. and I've yet to find anyone who seems like they're on Team Darcy.
There are a lot of people that are on Team Darcy. A lot of those people attack Tom in his DMs personally. So
yeah,
they are there.
Yeah, Tom gets a lot of hate. And admittedly, that one statement about her weight was...
Yeah, that was a shitty thing to say.
It's the shitty thing to say, but move on. The relationship itself, she's as equally a part of the breakup of it. She's as equally responsible as he is.
Right.
She's just a lot.
She's a lot.
Like, I first found out who this woman was back when she was doing the Jessie thing, right?
The first
season that she was on, and Jessie shows up at the airport with a poster of himself, which I thought was kind of weird. But
it is weird.
then I saw, a few of the episodes, and I'm like, okay, that episode with Jessie, and I know we're going like way back here, and I apologize for that, where he's in New York City for the first time ever. As like a 20-something-year-old, however old he was. I was about that same age the very first time I ever went to New York City. It is really hard to not look out that window at all the tall, pretty buildings.
And when he was asking
and
her
she
what
was,
they were.
and she was all like, "Why are you looking at the buildings? Why aren't you look at me? Look, I'm here. I'm here. Why are you not paying attention to me? Because the freaking Empire State Building's outside, lady. I've never seen it before. Look out the window."
Well, Jesse just saw his future. Like the fact that he had his own picture at the airport, that should have just let us know
everything we needed to know about him.
Everything about Jesse we needed to know was in that first scene. We should have known.
Later go on to learn.
Right. And don't worry about going back to talk about Jesse, because Darcy does it all the time. She's still doing it.
And we did a whole episode dedicated to him last week. So and his back end of his website.
Yeah, I remember. I produced it.
Yeah, but you don't ever listen to it, so it's okay.
It's all right. I heard it.
It's all right.
Speaking of back end.
Yes.
And thongs.
Oh, God. Okay. Avery's thongs.
Avery's thongs.
Yes, Ash likes Avery's thongs.
Dude, the look on his face when he said it, though, I actually thought he meant the actual, like, underwear thongs.
I thought so, too.
He's like, I like
didn't
your thongs. I was like, what?
Yeah.
He's talking about her
flip-flops.
toesies.
Her flip-flops, he meant.
Wait, what did you call them? Toesies?
Her toesies.
Is that what you call them? Toesies?
Yeah.
She's a 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
No, flip-flops, you call them toesies? That's your name for
No,
them?
he was looking at her toes.
Oh, okay.
In the
I thought
thongs.
flip-flops were known as toes. Like, if you went to Target, you'd ask them where the toesies section was to buy toesies.
I haven't had a pair of flip-flops in, like, 20 years.
No? Oh, I love flip-flops.
Yeah.
I live in flip-flops in the summer.
I would
And-
hear
and
you'd
then
accidentally kick a cactus. We don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. And we wore them in Hawaii all the time. They call them slippers there.
Slippers.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Yeah. It's a derivative of rubber slipper, which is what a lot of the old Japanese men shuffle around in.
Okay.
So they're just called slippers. So wear them all the time.
Back
Yeah.
to the thongs.
Thong, da dong, dong, dong.
That's a great song.
Which I was surprised she was wearing flip-flops, saying that they were going on like a, what would you call
Crocodile
that?
cruise.
Crocodile cruise. Which was cute.
But we got Ash being Ash again, which him just talking in circles. And when he did his like talking head interviews, those are just in circles too. Like, what is he actually saying?
He's telling her, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. But he's saying it in
Right.
250 words or more.
That's not what I heard. You talk about the thing with the ex-wife, right? And whether
Yeah.
the kid can move to America.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like he doesn't. Okay, having been in that position before, where you're like that you have to ask your ex for something that she's probably going to put up a fight about,
Yep.
and you're not looking forward to that conversation, but you're going to have it anyway. And then the other person, the current significant other, is asking you about said conversation. You're kind of like, yeah, we're dealing with it. You know, it's being talked about. And in the back of the mind, you know there's no way in hell she's going for it. And right at that point, you're just biding your time.
Right.
That's what's happening right now.
Well,
with
and,
this
and
guy.
Ash could be making sure that Avery and him are for sure on that path forward before he brings in the ex, brings in the kids. I mean, that's probably the more responsible thing because, I mean...
Sure. I just, his response is because he is so wrapped up in his own relationship coach bullshit. Like, he can't just say yes or no, or I haven't brought it up to her yet, or anything like that because of the way he speaks in like Instagram meme inspirational quotes. So,
And like, that could just be the way he talks. Like, if we totally stripped our knowledge of him being a relationship coach, I wonder what we would think of his answers. A lot of them are just very...
he says a whole lot without, like, he says nothing. He uses a lot of words to say nothing.
Right. Or a lot of words to say just a few things. Like, quite honestly, he could say, you know what? I haven't even talked to my ex-wife about this. I assume she's going to have a better reaction, but I'm not quite sure. In his head, he's going, fuck, 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 fuck. I'm not ready for this, damn it.
Yeah. The thing that bothered me about him during this was like, I'm taking her on this cruise to let's remind Avery about our playfulness of our relationship so she can relax and be comfortable. I'm like, that is so scripted. The playfulness, remind you of the playfulness of our relationship so that you can feel more comfortable. Like, that's such a bullshit, Instagram meme inspirational quote statement that it was just like, oh my God, really? But anyway, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
You don't like the relationship coach stuff?
Not at all. Nope.
They seem pretty normal to me. Now, this was the first time I'd ever seen them.
You're like, who
an
are these
episode.
people?
I was like, who are these folks? And I don't know. They seemed okay to me. I think that her desire to kind of let's get down to brass tacks and figure out what we are while I'm here instead of just, doing all this fun shit all over the place, I think is probably smart, because I think that probably happens a lot where these two couples these couples meet and they only have maybe 2 weeks with each other, and instead of actually talking about the relationship and whether or not they want it to work, they instead just go do all the fun things. And then at the end of it, they're like, oh crap, are we compatible? I don't know. You have to sit there and figure it out. So I'm a big proponent of talking shit out, and even, is this even worth pursuing?
Right.
And it seems like they're on that path.
Right. And we know from our, investigating stuff that since filming, he has come to the United States, to Seattle, several times to see her. So.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Spoiler McSpoilerson.
Yep.
I know, it's a spoiler podcast.
That's what we do.
Well, it is. I have a good feeling that, because a lot of people have been debating, are we even going to see his ex-wife? I have a feeling we are going to see his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And
They're
maybe
making a lot.
maybe his son. Yeah, I can imagine it being. I can imagine with TLC, it's going to be a super tense moment that probably wasn't really tense.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do it.
They're going to build it up as this big thing.
Nothing like meeting Sasha's ex-wife.
Oh, God.
Marsha.
David? Can we talk about David? Walking 500 miles?
Aww. That song played in my head.
500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
But he's on a mission. He's on a mission to get
Damn right he is.
to her hometown.
So this whole thing was so hilarious because I had people asking me, they're like, if he had her address, that she allegedly gave him her address, right? Or gave him her address. Why didn't he just go to her house? Because they must have missed the part where he said he felt that would be creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
But it's not at all creepy to walk around the town just looking for her, showing random candy store proprietors her picture.
I mean, hey, it's a start, right? Have you seen her? But like, I can imagine with like cameras, the store shop owner be like, I don't know her. I know nothing. Please leave my shop.
I don't know Lana.
Nope. I'm out. It does make me question. It does make me question what parts of that was actually filmed in the place that she lives. Is it I can't even say it right. Polygraph?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fuck Ukraine, I believe, is the name of the city.
I have to say those languages are not my best. Like, I spent so much time in Japanese. Every other language I just mess up. I can't. All the filming, I don't even know. Like, I guess I wish that I knew what that candy shop, where it was, to see if it was actually anywhere near where she lives.
And I don't know about you still, but I am still of the belief that TLC is doing him dirty on this storyline, and this is like 90% made up bullshit that not filmed in the right sequence or the right locations or whatever. They're just making shit up like on the fly is kind of what I'm thinking.
Right. Well, the way they're moving so fast in it, right? So like, we already have him in Ukraine. We already have him attempting to meet her once. And now we're, pulling a scene from Ricky's book and having him wait in a restaurant now. Mm-hmm. We're not going to spoil the next episode. But like, the way they're moving so fast in the story makes it feel like a lot of it is director driven, and only a small portion of it is actually going to be the true story. Like, was it just that easy to fly to Ukraine and meet her, and they had to have some kind of story around it? Because like they're doing the I'm gonna go find her, which is the opposite of Caesar's story, where he just sat there and waited. So
yes.
maybe the moral of the story will be, if you go to it, you're gonna get it. So I am hoping, because we only have a few episodes left, that we are going to get some kind of payout, and then we'll actually get to meet Lana, and this isn't going to be another case of Caesar and Maria.
And then, Maria not showing up till the tell-all. Which, by the way, we still don't know what they're doing about reformatting how they're going to do the tell-all. We haven't heard anything about that since they've had to cancel their original filming of it in New York. We haven't heard anything about how that's going to be redone, but that's an aside. So, yeah. I guess, I don't know, with David and Lana, I just, he can't be that stupid. So... he just can. I refuse to believe that he's that stupid. So I'm much more on the train that TLC is doing him dirty, and this is their doing. So, I guess we'll find out. Wait and see.
Right. One thing that I think is true is that I had a couple people reach out to me and say that the road that he was on, that he broke his tire on, are really that freaking bad.
Well, I believe that.
They are really, really bad. So, the effort, then that's where I was going back, the effort that it would take, the whole crew to follow with him on a bad road like that. I'm like, that's a plane trip. Or that now you see why they probably take the train. Like, why didn't he take the train?
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
Do we think that the producer helped him change the tire, by the way?
Or did they just sit there and watch it?
Just sit there and watch him and
He
film
did a
him doing
good job changing it, though. It didn't look like he needed help.
Did he?
He was getting
Did
his
he?
frustration out.
Oh, yeah. But I like the producer just walks up. You okay, David? Yeah, just changing my tire.
Well, they
Just
have to
got
make it
right
seem
to
like
work.
he's alone, right? I broke down. I'm out here all alone. It's like, but who's behind the camera?
Yeah, they did break the fourth wall on that with
They
producer
did.
asking him how he's doing. So I'll give him kudos for that. Did we get Yolanda and Williams?
We did
this
not.
episode?
We
Can I
did
real
not.
quick ask before we move on David and Lana here? The moment when he receives the message.
Oh yeah.
The moment when that all important moment when he's in the hotel room in bumfuck Ukraine, and he gets that message. She wrote me a message, and then the look on his face. He's like so happy and pleased.
And her message saying,
yeah,
let's get the evidence and get married for visa.
It was one sentence fucking message. It's I still want to meet. We'll get the photo, and I want to start a relationship. Boom,
Right.
done. And
I
he's
watched
like,
that
he's
scene.
like, oh, thank God. Okay, good. We're all fine now. I feel
Everything's
so
back
much
to
better.
normal. Yeah.
Right.
Everything's great. I'm like, you're in the woman's hometown. She doesn't know that, but you're there in the country. She does know that. You poured your heart out to her time after time, saying it happened again. I can't believe it. And finally, you get a response, and the response is one goddamn sentence. It's like, yeah, let's get our picture. And you're all happy about it. You're like, oh, good. Whew, thank God.
Well, he's
All right,
like,
I
I'm not
feel so
going to
much
tell her
better.
that I'm stalking the shit out of her right now
Right.
because then she won't respond.
Right.
And if you look at the
They've
message,
been in a relationship for 7 years.
Now-
I just can't with that.
Now, let me ask you this, okay? Katrina.
Yes.
That time when I broke up with you that summer, and I was
the
in
summer I broke up with you.
after I broke up with you, that trip I made to North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And even though we were broken up,
you had to get away from me after I broke up with you.
I'd already had that trip planned before that. And I was in North Carolina.
Yes.
And you, even though we weren't together, and I would have been perfectly. It would have been perfectly legal for me to, have hanky panky with some other woman out there.
Oh.
I didn't.
Right.
But you were worried about that happening.
was.
And you texted me a lot while I was there, like a bunch.
That's right, I did.
And sometimes I was at the beach and I didn't get back to texting you back right away. Or sometimes I was, doing this and that and didn't get back to texting you right away the way I would normally do it. And if you had poured your heart, I'm worried about you're gonna sleep with some ex-girlfriend, blah 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 blah.
Totally true. I
And I
totally
just-
thought that was going to happen.
And if I just texted you back one sentence that said, "Not gonna sleep with my ex-girlfriend. I'm just here having fun," and then that's all you heard from me again for the next 3 days. Is that sufficient for you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, just wondering.
Absolutely not.
But
I needed
like
to make sure you weren't cheating on me. I mean, not cheating on me.
It wouldn't have been cheating because I had broken up with you. I had broken up with you.
Okay.
that is such the debate, right?
It's not really a debate.
It's not. There's nothing to debate. I broke up with him. Mailbox rule.
There was one thing before it leaves my mind that I wanted to say about the message, because I know TLC tried to like zoom out of what that message looked like, but it looked like an email. I go back and look at it, look at the blurred areas, and tell me that that's not like the Gmail interface.
Ooh. She's going forensic files on us. I like it.
That's
Dun,
right.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I watch it too many times.
Versus like the email interface within the website that he claims to have to use.
I don't know. I've gone into that website to look around, and I don't know what the messages look like that. I don't know. It was just interesting. I don't know.
Okay. Well, we'll have to take a look.
Take a look. Tell me what you
So
think.
we'll see if, next week, if how long he sits in that restaurant waiting for her to not show up.
Oh, I have a feeling that it's going to be longer than Ricky, and she's not going to show up. Though, on the previews, he's ordering wine using his phone app.
Oh, God.
Did you see that part?
Yeah, I think
And for a
so.
second, I thought it was like Lana ordering through the phone for him.
Oh, no.
It's a translator app, but
Translator app.
the memes that come out of the storyline are just,
They're too good.
they're fantastic.
So, getting to perhaps one of the more real couples on the show, not producer driven, Stephanie and Erica.
Yes.
So, what we have learned about Stephanie and Erica. So, last week we had their dinner scene. So, they went to the booby place and then they went to dinner. And then this week we had the drive and then drinks. And Stephanie so this is what I learned about the dinners. They went to dinner, and what we saw was Stephanie asking Erica that she'd accidentally seen this app. It's a dating app, delete it, and Erica deletes it. There was actually a ton that was cut out of that dinner scene. And the reason why Stephanie knew that it was there is because she'd actually gone through Erica's phone. Like, she had taken the phone and gone through it and saw it. Erica was not hiding anything, and she actually told Stephanie, and she's like, here, let's look at it. Open the app, look at what the messages are, look at what the contacts are. And like, this was filmed in like October or November, and she hadn't had any messages from anybody on there since August, and they were work related. It was for sure networking, not dating related. So she shares all that stuff with Stephanie, and that still wasn't good enough for her. So that's cut to Erica deleting the app and Stephanie still not being happy about it. So there is this whole other thing. So what we have is Stephanie basically insisting that Erica leave her job, because if they're going to stay together, she has to leave Australia and go to New York. And at dinner, making her get rid of this networking app, this dating/networking app. So she's cutting her work stuff, a couple times. But then here's the hypocrisy, right? What does Stephanie do for work? She sells new pictures,
which is easily transferable anywhere you go. You have to get new clients.
Stephanie.
Oh,
no,
Stephanie.
No. Stephanie.
Oh.
Stephanie sells naked pictures of herself using her phone, right? So she's insisting that Erica delete this app that she's networking. Yeah, she could get new clients and stuff, but that's not what she had said. She had said, I've got stuff booked, and it sounds like they cut the stuff out of that conversation too.
Interesting.
You could also pose naked anywhere too. That job is pretty easily transferable.
It is.
Just saying.
But I mean, here's the thing though. Erica got to know Stephanie via her YouTube persona.
I had thought that they got to know, like, the person that Erica got to know was the real Stephanie and not the Stephanie persona, online persona, but it's appearing as if, no, that's maybe not the case.
Right, but she didn't ask Stephanie to stop doing what she did, and Stephanie's not asking her to stop doing what she does. As a photographer, it sucks to have to transfer your business and your clients and leave, but if that's what you did, like it wouldn't be that detriment. Like, you wouldn't stop being a photographer.
Correct.
And with Erica's talent, I've seen her work on her Instagram, she could probably get a lot more business in like New York or something like that if she's not struggling to find models. There's thirsty people in New York that would love to model and get pictures.
Yeah.
But it's hard because Stephanie, you can't say stop being a YouTuber.
And
Erica
has never asked her to stop doing that.
Right.
She's never had an issue with her being this YouTube personality who also sells nude pictures of herself. Erica has never had a problem with that. But Stephanie is having this problem of trust with Erica when she's proven, like, look at the app, the dating app. You know, I'm not using the dating part of it. I'm using the networking part. And even then it's, old. So where does Stephanie have the right to be asking her this at this point?
Because and I go back and forth because I know the whole business side of Bumble. But if your partner is uncomfortable that it's a dating app, it started out as a dating app. If your partner is uncomfortable with that, there are other venues to sorry, my brain's dying. To get clientele, to network, right? Like there's more powerful engines like LinkedIn. There's more powerful engines to help you get the clientele you need as a photographer.
Right, and it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal for Erica. She said that the messages that she did have in there were old anyway, so it wasn't like she was actively using it for that purpose anyway, so it wasn't a big deal, and she did delete it. I guess I'm just of the... If it's not that big of a deal, why did Stephanie make such a big deal about it and have this like whole fight about this app that ultimately didn't really matter because she's not really using it and she's not, she deleted it anyway and she wasn't even using it that much to begin with. So what's the big deal? And yet Stephanie was, whining, poor me. And we saw a continuation of that when they got to Port Augusta, right? That's the name the town she lives in?
I think so.
When they made that trip and they were out with her friend.
and Erica tried to talk about it when they were in the car on the way there, remember? Mm-hmm. And Stephanie said, I don't think being in a car, confined to a car with somebody else for 4 hours is a great place to have this conversation, which I disagreed with. I think that's the best place to have that conversation because you're trapped. So you have to talk it out because you can't go anywhere.
Well, some people don't do well with that. And that's like a common thing in relationships where there's one side that wants to talk it and beat it to death, and there's the other side that's like, if we don't talk about it, it will go away, right?
Yeah, I think I'm a beater to deather, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I can see Erica being the one who like wants to sit down and have a full conversation and bring it to a close, and
hash it out.
I don't know. Like you go back and you think about what both sides are having problems with, and I think overarching, it's their communication is not there. Yeah. They are not communicating. Yeah. It doesn't matter which side you're on. They aren't communicating their needs and expectations of this relationship effectively, and that's why they're having so many problems.
I would agree. The expectations are just clearly different. And this is something that I always wonder about all the couples, because did they not discuss their expectations before they get on the goddamn plane?
I think it's different. It's so much different to, like, I don't know, text someone and talk about all the things you'd like to do. And then when you're right in front of them, I can imagine there's a bit of a, I don't know. I've never been in that situation before, but I can imagine that it's different.
Yeah, but if you've developed this relationship with someone that you're that close to them and that you're considering marrying them, theoretically, you would be close enough to be able to share that feeling with them, being like, oh, this is going to be weird when I see you in person because we've been so intimate, on texts and stuff. But when I see you in person, I'm just meeting you. This is going to be weird. Like, how are we going to deal with this? Theoretically, you're going to have that conversation, but these people never seem to have these conversations, and it drives me batshit.
Theoretically, or they have the conversations, but you'll notice something that they all say, and it has to do with, I just met this person, as if they didn't talk to them ever before
Yes.
Do anything. They're like, I just met this person. I just met
As
this
if they're
person.
a brand new person.
Yeah, it's like you didn't just meet them. You just met them physically. It's the same person that you were talking to over the phone.
Yeah, you can't have it both ways because you have that, and then you have David said, "Oh yeah, she's been my girlfriend for the last 7 years, and I've never met her before."
We're pretty much married.
Yeah. But I have no way of communicating with her other than through this paid
Sorry to go back to them again, but it's funny though. But you're right, Hanakawa, because you do. They use that as an excuse when it's convenient, but then otherwise it's, oh, she's my girlfriend. We've been talking for 18 years.
Forever.
Even though we've never actually met.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she's my soulmate.
We started on AIM, and now we've converted over to WhatsApp, and that's how it's going.
So we get to meet Stephanie's friend again.
Claire.
I
guess it's like the only friend they decided to meet that night, like kind of like a get your feet wet to meeting my friends kind of thing.
Before the party, yeah.
Right, and of course,
and this is just for those of you guys who are wondering. Claire has this beanie on, and she appears that she's got hair only coming out one side of the beanie. That is because her head is shaved on one side.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. I wanted to find that out, and that was really the whole reason I'm here on this show today. Is that I helped bring that fact to life.
He asked me to find out, so I found out.
Yeah, we were watching it, and I said, "Does she have hair on the other side of her head, or is it just the one side?"
She has half of it shaved. Like, you know how the is it the MMA or Muay Thai fighters shave the side? She has one side shaved, and then the other side comes out.
That's awesome.
And then on her Instagram, sometimes she has her hair.
You
braided,
found her on Instagram,
like cornrow Viking style. So it's pretty badass. I like it.
You found the friend on Instagram. Can we just talk about that for a second?
The what?
You found her friend on Instagram.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah,
what's even her name?
She's an artist, and if you see her work and then you look back at her, you go, I get it. Totally makes sense. Totally.
You could have not told me what she did for a living and said, what do you think she does? And I would say, art.
Very artistic. Very good at her art.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure.
But their meeting was extremely awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. It's like when a couple has just been like fighting outside and they come in and they're just doing that like, can I just get a drink? And she's like, strongest shit you have.
Been there. And the whole time you're like, I really wish this person that I'm less familiar with would like get up and leave for a minute so I could find out what the hell's going on. And then inevitably that happens.
Conveniently,
TLC
makes sure that
happens.
happens.
Use the bathroom.
Yep.
Yes. Yep.
All right, what's going on?
What the hell happened? Oh, I don't know. Stephanie is this whole other different person than she was when we talked, and I have no idea.
Right. What I don't like is the harping on making Erica look like either like it's a dual opinion on her. She's either a predator, a sexual predator, as some have said, which is crazy, or she is a victim. She's neither. It's like, I don't know. This episode made it seem like she was a victim, and I'm like, this is not a good look either.
No, I don't see her as a victim. She's just somebody who's confused by this woman that is the person that's in front of her, and what's happening in front of her is completely different than what her expectations were.
Which happens when you order from Wish.com too. Like, we should all be used to our expectations not being fully met, especially in the romance category.
Right. Well, as we say in recovery, expectations are just premeditated resentments. They're just disappointments that haven't happened yet.
Oh my God. I love that. That should be someone's vows. That should be someone's vows. Like,
okay, well, when you marry me and hetero life mate, just remember to include that.
She's going to be the one to marry us?
She's going to be the officiant, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't give the fans hope. They're going to be expecting it now. We know about the expectations.
Oh, we're not going to get married anytime soon, guys. Sorry.
Womp womp.
Price is Right, loser music. Okay.
So we have we get one more fight with Stephanie and Erica though. This is the last like
I feel like it's not going to be the last fight though. So
I don't think it's like I am hoping. I'm like this whole thing has started out terrible. I'm like, are they gonna give us some like happiness towards the end? Like, I really
don't
want
think
to
so,
see
no.
them have a good time together.
Yeah, no. I'm going to say no.
At least, I think we have a couple more fights because the preview has her yelling at her again in a bathrobe. So we have so much to cut through with them. But yeah. So I mean, bottom line, Erica feels like Stephanie isn't being as physically intimate as she needs, and I don't know, the whole
and she's
fight
not even
was
talking
hard.
about sex. She's not even talking about sex necessarily. She's talking about like hand holding and snuggling and like affection at all.
Right.
And she's not getting any of that.
Which are things you usually, I guess I would assume you would warn / tell someone about. Like I've known couples where one side is not affectionate at all. Like they may do a kiss or a quick handhold, but they're not like lovey-dovey all over. And if that's what Erica needs and that's not what Stephanie can provide, then already there's an issue.
Yeah.
You know, no one's in the wrong. It's just...
Yeah, they're just different. They're just incompatible. They're just not matched up that way.
We could bring in the Married at First Sight experts. How do you want to be? How do you want to be loved?
What's your love language? How do you fill up your love tank?
Oh my God. I read a book like that some time ago. It was just, whoo, that's a lot.
Speaking of filled tanks, we have one piece of social media roundup for you.
It has to do with tanks?
Well, somebody's getting stuffed. Annie and Robert confirms that she is in fact carrying a baby.
That is not the kind of tank I was thinking about. What sickness is this?
She is all full. She's full of Robert super sperm.
I don't. You know, it's crazy because at the time that he was like being offended by people calling him Fertile Myrtle, and at that very time, if you go back and
that's when we announced their pregnancy. That's when we broke the news that she was in fact pregnant.
I'm like, he's like, no, it's not true. It's like, oh. Anyways.
And it was. And you can watch, there you have it filmed, for What Now on the app.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So they're on Pillow Talk where they did everyone kind of guessed it because Annie always had a pillow in front of her. I'm like, just give her a bathrobe.
Or because I announced it back in February. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
Depending on how many it reached, yes. There's always that factor of like it was posted, but how many people like actually read it?
Yeah.
We know how people scroll down their feed.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
So that's it. That's it for social media roundup.
I thought I had something and I can't even. Huh.
Well, that's fine. I have some social media roundup to discuss.
Uh-oh.
I've learned how to answer messages on Instagram now. So if you followed me on Instagram before, at @HeteroLifeMate, and you messaged me and I didn't respond, it's because I just didn't know how. So now I know how. So feel free to send messages or whatever, and I can respond.
You telling them to slide up in your DMs?
No, nothing like that.
Open
nothing
invitation.
like that.
I think he just invited the world to slide into his DMs.
So if you want to message me on Instagram, I know how to do it now. So feel free, and then I'll write back, and we'll have fun on the gram.
Keep it G-rated,
That's my social media roundup.
folks.
Yeah, G-rated.
If you want them to get married, you're going to keep it G-rated.
Except for Scorpio Lynn, she could get as X-rated as she wants to.
Oh my God.
That's my
She'll
baby
be
girl.
Okay. Like, no. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to do something new for you guys. And sorry for it being late. We're trying to make it up. Our Patreon. So for those of you guys who have joined our Patreon, we've never really given you shout outs to thank you for it. We've done it as a whole, like, hey, thank you, but we haven't done individual shout outs. So we're going to change that now. So today we are going to do shout outs for our $3 tier, which is our swindler tier. Swindler. I think that's Swindler.
Well, let's ask the person who came up with the names. She's gonna hit me in the face with the microphone.
gonna get you.
So all right. So start with Danielle.
All right,
First names only.
Big thanks to Danielle. Thank you very much for your support. Gail, thank you. Terry, of course we have Kim. Now, which Kim is that? Because I know we have like 19 Kims who show up on Fraud Night Live. Which Kim is she?
She shows up.
She does? What's her Fraud Night Live name?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you, Kim. Crystal, thank you very much. Oh, Mark, we have a guy. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Mark. We appreciate that, your support. You scrolled too fast. Where are we there? Oh, okay. Now we're back to Amanda. I already thanked Mark. Amanda, thank you very much. Patricia, we appreciate your support. And Ebony. Ebony, couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much for supporting the Fraudcast. Am I still going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've got a lot.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Mariana, thank you very much. Marlena and Mariana. If there's somebody named Mariana that wants to support the show too, we'll accept that support.
Okay.
Marlena, thank you very much. Candace, that's a very nice picture there. Thank you very much for your support. Kara, Cindy, and there's Scorpio Lynn. There's baby girl right there. Thank you. That Monet is a supporter on the Patreon. Thank you very much, Monet. Lee, Anna, Stephanie, Gigi, Aaron, Baylin, and Anna. It's a different Anna than the first one I mentioned, just so you know. Yeah. Thank you very much for your support. There's someone with a blank name. If you're out there and you're nameless, but you support us on Patreon, want you to know that we know about you. And we appreciate you. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Ashley, Whitney, Tiffany, Shell, T-Joe, I like that name. Rochelle, Courtney, Natasha, Shauna, Claire, Kirsten, another Michelle, different from the first one. This one doesn't have a last name. Karen, thank you very much for your support. Anna, couldn't do it without you. Yelena, Jane, Diane, Lindsay, hope you guys are having great weeks. Irene, Lee Ellen, Lorelei. Oh, it's like from, what's the show? Gilmore Girls? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good name. Lorelei, thank you for your support. Jen, thank you. Lisa, Ashwini.
Sure.
Ashwini, we're going to go with Ashwini there. Thank you, Ashwini. And Trish, you guys are awesome. Couldn't do it without you. I hope you're appreciating all the extra content that you get on the Patreon. Euclid, thank you so much. Sunshine. Is that Sarah Sunshine? Or is that different Sunshine? Do we have multiple Sunshines? We're finding out.
I don't know.
Okay. Laura, thank you very much. Ayana, thank you for being such a great supporter. How about that, huh? Tony, thank you. Kellyanne, not Conway. Angie, Crystal, Liana, thank you. Lauren, Cicella. That's another
Cecilia.
Cool name. Oh, Cecilia. Or Cicella. I don't know.
I'm sorry about his face, you guys.
Words are hard. Randy, thank you so much. Don't make you Randy, baby. Yeah. Holiday, thank you for your supporting us on Patreon. Lucretia, Jessica, Lauren, Fedor. Tara, Amy, Jennifer. Those are two different Jennifers. Let's make sure we give each one their due. Hey, Jennifer, thank you. And then Jennifer, thank you. Maha. Are we going to Maha or Maya? Maja? Maya?
Maya.
M-A-J-A. Maha.
Maya.
Thank you. Kiara, thank you so much. Kelly with 2 L's and an E-Y. We see you and we love you. Thank you. Heather, Katie, Christian with a K. We appreciate your support. Chelsea, Dusty. Is that the Dusty of the Mechadoom? That's the road, if you will. Hard times, daddy. And I kind of has no idea what I'm talking about. Michaela, thank you so much. Amy, with an I, thank you for supporting the Patreon. Johanna, we appreciate you. Carlina, Alex, Hannah, Shanna, Manda. Hold on, go back up. That was funny. No, above that one. Scroll up. Hannah, Shanna, and Manda. Those three need a podcast together. It's the Hannah, Shanna, and Manda show. Okay. Sydney, thank you so much for supporting us. Renee, Lindsay, Laura with an O, Kiki with 4 E's in one name. One name, 4 E's. Nothing like Kiki. Jade, thank you for your support. Randy, Linda.
Stop it, Linda. There you go.
And that's it. I'm spent. That's a lot of supporters. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/
The Fraudcast.
The Fraudcast and sign up. It's not expensive and you get all kinds of cool extra stuff.
Yeah, right now we're doing Married at First Sight. We're going to do Love After Lockup again when that picks back up. we've been talking some Tiger King, some other stuff that we're watching on during quarantine right now. Just some other kinds of random stuff. Lots of other content. There's some Frauded Undercover, which is me and Hetero Life Mate watching 90 Day or something else. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing an episode of that this week. So that will be coming out. That's a video. So that's the Patreon, you guys. Thank you for you, Swindler level. And next week we're going to get the Fraudcaster level, which is the $5 level. Hanakawa?
Yes.
Anything to close out?
I think I'm good. I'm closing out my mind for today. I'm closing everything out right now.
All right. Yeah, it's time for us to go eat dinner. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Frauded by TLC. You can find the Fraudcast on Facebook as the Fraudcasters is our Facebook group. If you're a member of the Patreon, you have the Patreon only Facebook group as well as Discord server. Where Hetero Life Mate and Agency make appearances and talk. And we have my Frauded Night Live Friday nights on Instagram where we talk about all the juicy gossip of the week. And that's it. That's all we got for you. We appreciate it. I hope everybody's staying safe and staying healthy with COVID going around.
Be responsible. Stay home.
Yes.
And stay home, you guys. Save a life, stay home. Thank you to our healthcare workers, and we will get you. And thank you guys, everybody, all you essential workers that are out there doing the Lord's work, especially the people like delivering all the things that get ordered. We appreciate all of you guys, and this is the Fraudcast, and we're dumpster diving so you don't have to.
This Fraudcast has been produced and edited by yours truly. Art by Sarah Dawdy. Music written, produced, and performed by Umami. Segment producer at iHeart Reality TV Shows. Further assistance provided by many unnamed fraud consultants.
How do you want to be loved?
What's your love language? How do you fill up your love tank?
Oh my God.